couple of outages yesterday. Toner Boulevard, I know because I was in Shaw's and they were on a generator. And then Reservoir Street, I guess, is where the most damage was done.
That's right. So the Toner Boulevard outage was just a couple hours. It affected parts of Town Street, and we have our right-of-way that goes through 3 circuits go down Town Street. But the biggest outage that we were contending with all day, which we had about 565 customers out for almost 12 hours, was Reservoir Street. So on Reservoir Street, you can see in the background here from the Sun Chronicles picture, when we were first arriving on scene, we have our foreman and another person, another lineman, investigating, seeing what's going on. The first thing that they see is, well, it's a big tree, obviously. But what you don't get usually in some of the newspapers is why it took so long to fix. So when I look at this from an engineering perspective, I see the line did exactly what it was supposed to do. It held together. You can see the primary line here, although what happens with this is called tree wire. Tree wire is very strong. It's designed not to hold the tree, but to hold big branches or to be able to shake stuff off of it. So if a big branch hit it, you have a very good chance of the branch just falling off. However, a tree like this takes down the line itself, which also pulls on the poles. Poles can snap. In this case, we had a pole down. On the other side of this, there's transformers. So we have a bunch of wire, primary, secondary, cable, everything tangled up in here. And what it does to poles that are closer to us in this photo is it actually yanks the primary line. So 13,000 volts, what it does when it yanks it, it's so dramatic that it actually snapped live. So we had a burning cable here, which moments later it was de-energized at our substation and switched out. Next thing that comes in is the tree gets removed. Tree crews chop it up, get it out of there, and then our crews can get to work. So it's not just the area that you see here and setting a pole, which takes a couple hours itself. It's actually taking all of this cable, racking it back, splicing this piece in, getting everything set up, and then re-energizing, make sure everything's good. So it just takes time. Utility companies are construction companies. Construction takes time. If you're having a new driveway done and you have an idea how long that's going to take. For this, once we get out there, if this was just a branch down and a single phase burn down, it would have been a couple hours. This is usually worst case scenario, and we're very fortunate, but our system is built fairly robust that the incidents that we saw around town did not involve trees of this size. We had a lot of branches down, but if we did have more of this, it would have been more outages outside and we still would have been working overnight. We were done to about 99.9%. We were dealing with 3 or 4 individual house services, and I think we have 2 out right now. And that's it.
You can see, and I was there, I took video of the repairs being made. That was just one tree on one street. You were fortunate that there weren't 20 of those across town.
Yeah, and if that happens, as awful as it is, we deal with it one at a time. So we start by looking at the largest outage, but also the most vulnerable parts of the circuit, the most vulnerable community components as well. We try to pick up as much customer count as possible in one shot. That's typically how we do it. So we clear the big stuff and then start to get the little stuff later. We've been seeing more and more of these hard-hitting, fast-moving storms, even though this stalled a little bit, but it was coming in waves. I anticipate that we will be seeing more and more of this type of thing. Customer expectations are going up and up and up. Estimated time of restoration is very hard to give, so we throw out what we think we can do. As we start to fix it, we can realize that, oh boy, we didn't see these breaks, we didn't see these splits 10 poles away, where it pulls things down. I mean, the size of that and the mass of that, it's a very dangerous situation. On the other side here, as you're cutting it, you have to worry about components of the tree actually still dropping down. There's a lot of stored energy in trees, and that's a very dangerous situation. So we do contract with the tree crew, and we have a contract in place, a 3-year contract for them to work with us during storms in particular, besides tree trimming. But this is a tough spot. If we had 10 of these around town, like I said, we'd still be working 2 days later.
North Attleboro Electric has won awards for its reliability, and one of the reasons you're proactive when it comes to trees. You're every year you trim above the power lines as much as possible. There's no way you could have prepared for this for a tree like that. You're not removing trees; you're just trimming trees.
That's right, and I go back to saying tree wire. It doesn't stop trees of this size, but it is designed to be a little bit more robust. We do a very active tree trimming program, but we trim an envelope around the conductor itself. This is something that nobody can prepare for. We like our trees, right? We like the shade that they bring. And I mean, this is an old growth tree, and unfortunately it came down, but we live in a society where we rely on electricity. So in this particular moment, it's like tree's already down, we got to remove it, and we work as fast as possible to get everything restored.
Great work.
Thank you. And it's really, it's the crew, it's the operations, it's our customer service, guys that were working out overnight, basically anticipating that there's going to be something and then responding to it and staying on the job until it's done. So it really is them. It's the whole group, but especially operations who is out there in the high winds, going up, repairing small things and large things.